On behalf of the SUV TV, I would like to welcome you all to the Playing for a Change Classic. Today we have three terrific games that will kind of be showcase games. And then on Monday, we will have the semifinals where we will have Grayson versus Wheeler at 4 o'clock, and we'll have North Gwinnett versus Pace at 6 o'clock, and then we'll have a championship game the following day. And the loser bracket will play as well. This is a great event. We've had a lot of talk in 2020 about social injustice, and they wanted to use this platform to bring that to light. This is Daryl LeBerry. You are joined today by Beijing Sewell as well, and we are looking forward to this game. Beijing, it was a little bit of a struggle getting in here. Pace can be a little unique to find with the traffic going on, but glad to have you here, and are you looking forward to the game?
Yes, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I think this will be a definitely interesting game. As we were talking about it earlier, Cobb County has always had, their fair share of rivalries over the years, and I think that it's evolved, especially for Wheeler. First it was Wheeler and Marietta, now it's then it was Wheeler and Walton, now it's Wheeler and Pebblebrook, and they have evolved with these rivalries. So I think it'll be a super aggressive games on both ends of the ball.
I agree. For the starting lineup for George Washington's Pebblebrook team, we have number 0, Aaron Reddish, number 4, Andre Young, number 5, Jamal Kleiss, number 10, Danny Stubbs, number 24, Tyler Shirley. They are dressed in black with gray trim. For Wheeler, we have starting number 1, A.J. Burke, number 4, Isaiah Collier, number 23, Jamil Giles, number 14, Caleb Washington, and we have number 3, Jaheim Hudson. They are dressed in white with navy blue numbers and gold trim going from right to left on your screen right here. Isaiah Collier is one of the best point guards in the country, regardless of class. Everybody's excited to see him. We have a couple guys who are already committed in this game. We have Jamal Kleiss is committed to Georgia State. Danny Stubbs committed to Georgia State. Tyler Shirley is committed to South Alabama. So we got some good players out here. I'm excited.
Yeah, and I think Georgia State is definitely going to have some pretty good company coming in with those recruits. That is a good little recruiting class that's coming in.
Definitely, no question about it. As you can hear, the intensity is already in here. Air ball by Danny Stubbs. Great defense by Wheeler, known for their scouting. They have one of the best coaching staffs in the country. Larry Thompson has won over at Green Forest, won multiple state championships, won a state championship last year at Wheeler. George Washington leads your Pebblebrook crew, and they have some really good players that are senior laden. Probably a little disappointed from what they finished last year, but they're excited about what they can do this year. Great finish by Isaiah Collier right there attacking the rim.
Yeah, and I think Wheeler is definitely on the good end of recruiting as far as their coaches. They have 2 coaches that are Wheeler alumni, so they know Wheeler around from back to front, and both of them were 2002, 2003 champions, so definitely in good company with their
Great lob from Isaiah Collier to Caleb Washington, and that is one of the storylines of the game today. Yes. Caleb played at Pebblebrook last year. So, obviously going and play at a new school this year and matched up with his old school. The coaching staff was concerned that he would make this game too emotional. They were hoping he wouldn't try to make it a one-on-one battle and he would play within the team concept. So far, he's off to a great start.
Yeah, I agree, and that's an interesting backstory just to have that going on.
It's got to be tough playing against your old teammates. I mean, guys you were in class with, you played AAU with. I mean, they're close friends of yours, and now you're wearing the opposite color uniform than them.
Exactly, and it's funny just because that is a very well-known story with a lot of schools. They'll go and they'll play with other teams, and then they'll have a little bit of history, which will in turn help the other team. So I know that their players may feel some type of way that they have some of that, but it is helpful for him on his side.
And it happens in the state of Georgia all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just kind of used to it. It is what it is. The culture is a lot of guys move around trying to find situations that fit best for them and trying to progress in their basketball career.
Right.
So it's just part of it. And just to touch on some of the guys who are committed from Wheeler High School, Jaheim Hudson is committed to Florida Gulf Coast. Caleb Washington is signed to go to Dayton. A.J. Burke just got a couple offers for some D2s, and Max Harris, he will not be playing today. He's a very good player who's a senior, recruited by a lot of low major and mid-major schools. He's held out for precautionary reasons because of a lower back injury today.
Okay.
Big time shot by Isaiah Collier, who has really improved his mid-range and jump shooting out to three. He was known more of a driver and a kind of a playmaker, and now he's learning to shoot the ball from the perimeter as well, and that's just going to expand his game and help his team.
Yeah, Collier has definitely evolved over the years, and he is one of those players to watch for, even though he's graduating next year. I think that watching him now is making a huge point, and they just put him on the ESPN Top 25, so that shows a lot.
He deserves it. I
Yeah.
mean, he's as good as you see. I mean, he can do so many different things out there. He has size for the position. Like I said, he's shooting the ball better from the perimeter. He can play with pace, and he's going to get your team good shots. That was a great pass he made, kind of bringing the ball up in transition on the right side and whip one in, and just right there gets a foul for his teammate, and now that's going to be some easy baskets right there.
Right. Score's still pretty close right now, 7-5. As it should be with the way that these teams compete.
And, they're going to kind of feel each other out early. And then, we'll see some runs. Both teams are really good. They'll go on runs as the game goes on. But early, I'm expecting a little bit of, a little jitters. This is a big-time game. Like we said, we have the backstory going on with Caleb playing versus his old team. And two very good coaching staffs that will kind of scout each other out. So they'll have to make adjustments on the fly as the game is going.
Right, as they should. And that shows that that's great coaching staff and left him wide open.
Got lucky right there. You don't want to give him that shot. That's his game.
And they give him another chance. Misses that one.
And that was Stubbs, who's an excellent three-point shooter. So I doubt the Wheeler coaching staff said we'll give him that open shot in the corner. If anything, you want to force him to the rim and make him beat you at the rim. But, that's how it goes. Sometimes the ball bounces. They were forcing to get a miss, and now they're got a little bit of a foul going up the court, and we'll see what they can do execution-wise in the half court.
Right, but you definitely don't want to give them too many second chances.
No.
Because they will clearly take advantage of that.
Yes, they will. Jaheim Hudson with the drive right there. Like we said, he's going to Florida Gulf Coast. It's kind of a tweener forward, but he can put the ball on the floor and make some plays. Great drive right there to the rim, and good finish with some athleticism and length.
Yeah, Wheeler's definitely evolved over time with, their sizing and everything. I've known them to be really big, watching them play in the early 2000s.
They were huge.
Yeah. And now they're kind of in between, but I feel like most teams are starting to find combo positions nowadays.
I was going to say that's kind of where the game is going. Everybody's going smaller. It starts with the NBA and everything kind of filters down.
Right.
Everybody wants to be able to positionless players is the new catchphrase that everybody has. Everybody wants to be able to dribble, pass, and shoot even out to the center position. So guys are getting smaller because they want more court spacing and give guys opportunity to be able to drive and make plays and then have three-point shooters on the court.
Right. And I guess that's a good thing because you would want to be good at everything that you do. So
I think everything is cyclical, though, so I think we'll go back to some bigger guys. But, like everything, it's just a new fad right now. Nice side ball screen right here for Isaiah Collier. Hesitation dribble, got to the rim. Made the shot, but I think they're going to call that foul on the floor. That should be a baseline out of bounds.
You see how Collier is just taking good care of the ball.
Putting his imprint on the game early.
Right.
As you can see right there on that replay. Great drive. Big time shot right there by number 1, A.J. Burke, who we discussed earlier. He's been playing really well, gives them some outside shooting. Also a little bit of senior leadership as well, 6'1" guard.
Leadership definitely needed.
There's no substitute for experience.
Right.
At any level, doesn't even matter.
Exactly.
And that's Aaron Reddish with the drive right there, brother of Cam Reddish, who plays for the Atlanta Hawks. And he's also transferred into Pebblebrook, came from Wheeler. So I didn't even think of that. We got two guys who played for the opposing team last year, playing in the same game, playing against their teammates. So I'm sure he feels like he has something to prove because he had a little bit of a smaller role over at Wheeler, and now he's gone on to Pebblebrook where they've kind of expanded what he's doing. Great drive and left-handed finish by Aaron Reddish right there.
Yeah, and I think that's a great example of sometimes being at these schools, you might not be a good fit one place, you'll find it at another place. And it's not even, I won't even say it's just the scouting, but it might just be them scouting themselves and realizing, okay, this might not be a good fit for me, so let me go here where I know I can find that that attention and the respect that I need.
And I think the word that you said that was key there was fit. So, you know, for whatever reason, he didn't fit into their scheme or system, but now he goes over to Pebblebrook, and he kind of fits exactly the way they play, and it's been a huge addition to their program. They are 10-1 right now. They played more games than a lot of teams. Some key wins that Pebblebrook has is they beat Newton County 74-53. They beat Cale 64-59, Tri-City 74-64, and they also beat South Cobb 77-65. So some good wins for them. Their only loss is Wasatch Academy in the Hoops Giving Tournament 71-62. On the other end, Wheeler is 6-1. Some key wins they have are they beat McEachern 79-68. They also beat Sandy Creek 62-61. And their only loss of the season came to that same South Cobb team, 81-74. So you're talking about two teams that have played a very good schedule and that could end up meeting later on in the state championship. So this is a very good test for both teams and kind of a little bit of a chess match between the coaching staffs.
Right, and you've even seen last year when they had played Pebblebrook, that was one of the things that Coach Thompson said. When they lost to Pebblebrook, he was like, this is going to be the last game that we lose. And then they went on to win the championship. So this will set a huge example.
And a lot of people didn't believe him when he said that. You know, that Grayson team last year was kind of who everybody anticipated winning the state tournament. They were ranked in the top 5 for the majority of the year, had 2 great guards, Caleb Murphy, who went on to South Florida, and then Davon Smith, who went over to Mississippi State. So it was kind of a shocking defeat, but Larry Thompson is as good as it gets, man. So if he says something, I usually tend to believe it and go on his side.
Yeah, that was definitely interesting to see from my perspective. I was actually still in school when I heard about them losing, and I was like, really?
You didn't anticipate it, right?
No,
Nobody
I
did.
was shocked.
Got a little bit of a discrepancy going on with the officiating right here. Head official came in and kind of straightened everything out. No argument from me, the coaching staff, so that's usually a good thing. They're going with a horn set right here. Danny Stubbs with the entry pass to a dribble handoff. They run a lot of horns action. Great drive, no finish. Jaheim Hudson, then that's one of the things that he can do that makes their team so good. When you got a big guy who can rebound the ball and initiate the offensive break and kind of ignite your transition break, that just makes you guys that much more potent.
Right. And he's been doing a really good job. I had the opportunity to watch them play a couple of weeks ago, and watching his size is just, for me, it's very endearing because I love watching big men do what they're supposed to do. And so it's always just like, yes, this is exactly, you know, what I like to see from big men, especially nowadays with the combo positions like we were talking about earlier.
And even though he's a guy who can do some different things as far as ball handling, he still kind of knows who he is. He does a lot of his work around the rim, so I understand exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
Just like that right there. Good footwork. Unfortunately got called for dragging his pivot foot. Ref called travel. Probably was a little too patient. Probably should have went a little quicker there, but you know, he'll learn from that, and that'll be a play that they'll probably go back to later on in the game. Just a nice little baseline out of bounds play where they get a one-on-one ISO right in the mid post.
But they're definitely good with finding what their flaws are and then fixing them quickly.
And making adjustments, for sure.
And that's what you have to do, especially nowadays. It's not like how it was, being very meticulous with everything that you're doing. It's like you need to fix it now, or, you know, it's going to come back to bite you in the butt later on.
I mean, the game can get away from you quick with the way guys are shooting the ball from 3. People are scoring in bunches. So, like you said, if you don't make quick adjustments and kind of keep up with the flow of the game quickly, you could be down 10, 15 points, and now you just have too deep a hole to kind of dig yourself out of.
Exactly, yeah.
Baseline out of bounds here for Wheeler. Wheeler is up 13-8 with 1:39 left on the clock. A little bit of confusion on that baseline out of bounds. This is number 11, just entered the game, Kyle Burns. He's a 6'2 junior. Son of Kenny Burns, came in. Nice little mid-range shot right there. Kenny Burns, who's a DJ personality on V103.
Hilarious, honestly. He really is.
I actually really enjoy him. He does a lot of informational stuff on there as well.
Yes, he really does. And it's good to see that going on with everything.
Caleb Washington with an unforced turnover. Aaron Reddish turns it right back. So that now you got both teams playing a little bit of scramble basketball. Caleb is fortunate right there. That could have been another turnover for Kyle Burns. He ended up picking up a kind of a scrappy loose ball and turned it into an easy dunk. to give them a 9-point lead. And you can see Larry Thompson knows that he's excited right now. He's energetic. He knows he wants to try to build this lead as much as possible because he knows at some point Pebblebrook is going to go on some kind of run.
Yes, they will. If they find one little opening, they will take advantage of it, and that is one thing that Pebblebrook will take advantage of.
Definitely. We got subs in. Number 5, Kedrick Oliver subs in for Wheeler. We also have number 0, Amir Green-Jones, who's a 6'3 sophomore subbing in, and number 12, Javon Gemery, who's a 5'8 junior. So mad subs for Wheeler right here with 40 seconds left on the clock. He probably want a little offense, defense. Doesn't want to get any of his starters in foul trouble here and bring some energy and some enthusiasm for those young guys.
Those are the things that you really don't want, especially closing out the first quarter. Those little turnovers is just.
And they were fortunate because that could have been a turnover on Wheeler right there.
Yeah.
Almost another turnover on the baseline out of bounds. This is a huge possession.
Right, exactly. Especially if you want to close out the first quarter on a high note.
And I thought we might have had shot clocks because this is a showcase event, but I'm not seeing a shot clock right here, so I guess we're playing regular Georgia high school rules as of right now. But they'll probably wait for the last second shot.
And that's been interesting seeing how we're watching basketball really evolve right now.
We are.
The taking away, well, obviously we don't know with everything going on as far as health-wise. Taking away the jump ball has definitely changed some things. Shot clock.
I don't know how I feel about that, taking away the jump ball either.
I don't like it because at the end of the day, there's still going to be contact.
It's no way not to be 6 feet away from the players. You're going to be close to them at some point regardless in the game. It's one small play.
Right.
I think a lot of people are also worried about a bad toss, but I mean, as the year goes on, the guys get comfortable. I think they do it fine, and I would like to see it back. As far as I know, this is one of the few places where they're not doing a jump ball to initiate the game.
Yeah, I remember watching a couple games, and I was like, wait,
confused, right?
Whoa, what? Right, they're just on the sideline, and they'll just inbound it, and I'm like, I don't know how that takes away from anything, but okay.
I guess it is what it is. It's 2020. Everything can happen. Two big free throws by Javon Gemery right there. They'll try not to foul. Long half-court shot by Jamal Kleiss goes wide. And that's the end of your first quarter. We have Wheeler up 19-8. They went on an early run, very aggressive. I'm sure Pebblebrook will go back to the drawing board here and try to go on a run of their own, figure out what they can do to stop the Wheeler Wildcat offense.
Yeah, so how much time do you think that Pebblebrook will have to make until they need to fix these little small mistakes?
They can't have another quarter like they just had. You can't have another quarter where you're almost 10 points in the hole. You don't want to be down almost 20 going into the half.
Yeah.
Not like you talked about earlier. It'll just be too much of a uphill battle trying to play against a really good Wheeler team.
Right.
So you probably just want to chip away at it, play it in 2-minute increments and try to cut away 2 points every single time and get this thing closer to a 3 or 4 point deficit, maybe even the lead going into the half, and then see what you can do with the halftime adjustments.
Yeah, because this is a talented Pebblebrook team, and that's the thing. It may be shocking right now, but I don't think that they're going to let this be how the rest of the game goes out.
I agree.
I'm sure that Coach Washington has told them what they need to do. They'll adjust as needed, and from there, we should see a better second, third, and fourth quarter.
They're well prepared. I mean, they played 11 games, and like we talked about the competition they played earlier, they've kind of seen everything.
Right.
And they know about the ebbs and flows of the game, so I'm sure they'll be ready and prepared. Talked to Coach Washington earlier. He wanted to make sure they won the rebound battle. They want to run, play up-tempo. They want to limit Isaiah Collier's paint touches, and they want to be very physical. They want to be the more physical team, which I would say, as of right now, Wheeler has probably been the more physical team.
I agree.
Some things that they said they've done well is they're playing great team defense. They're really sharing the ball and moving it around and playing for each other, and that's something that they'll have to do moving forward in the second quarter to score. Put more. They're too talented a team to only have 8 points in the first quarter.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking that this might be, like you said, first meeting jitters. So I don't think that we'll see this too often, if at all, from here on out.
And I think Pebblebrook has gone back with their starting lineup. It looks like Wheeler still has a sub in. They still have Javon Gemery in. And they also have Amir Green-Jones in as well. Offensive foul on the screening action by Caleb Washington right there. He's a little confused. Coaching staff is trying to figure out too, but they're not arguing it. They're just trying to figure out exactly what the rule implementation will be for this particular game so they can adjust accordingly.
Yeah.
I like to see Wheeler in a little 2-2-1 press right here.
Yes. One of my favorite presses when I used to play ball in middle school, high school. That's
nice.
just so easy.
I agree. Were you at the top of the press or the back of the press?
I was definitely at the top for a little bit. Then I was like, you know what? Let me go back.
Got to expend a little bit too much
Right.
energy up there in
Yeah,
the
I was
front.
like, oh, no. But the funny thing is I turn around and I run track in high school. So,
You were just confused, trying to figure it out.
I was just trying to understand, get the ropes together.
I hear that.
But it is definitely effective.
No question. The 2-2-1, and then as you can see now, Pebblebrook's in the diamond press. Those are the two predominant presses that you see at the high school and even some at the college level as well.
It's definitely effective if you're trying to get a stop early.
And then also if you just want to control tempo, whether you really want to slow a team down or you want to speed a team up, you can kind of play it differently and, you know, impact how the other team is going to play on the offensive end.
Yeah, I'll definitely say in girls basketball a lot, it'll be used probably close. If the score is close and you know that there's probably that one or two girls that are good at shooting around the perimeter.
Yeah.
That's how we've always used it. And I remember.
Get the ball out of their hands.
You just want to get it out of their hands as quick as possible.
And I think it's used the same way in boys basketball. Look, there he goes, Isaiah Collier. I'm telling you, if he can make long ball threes like that on a consistent basis, he's going to be dangerous, and every school in the country already likes him, but every school in the country will be trying to get his services if he can make that three on a consistent basis. Yeah,
so far he had Florida, Texas Tech, and Ole Miss, and those are some pretty good schools to look for. And he's feeling all of them, but soon,
it's early in his process, though.
He'll have to make a decision, but not now, obviously.
And he'll have all the blue bloods, I'm pretty sure, by the end of his high school career.
Right.
Now Willis dropped back into just a basic man-to-man package. And they've done a good job. They look like they're down in the ball screen, meaning they're not good. Look at Isaiah Collier push the tempo, almost turned it over, but I love the push. So they're down in the ball screen, not allowing you to come off of it, and it kind of keeps the ball on one side of the court so you can load up and you're not in rotations as much. So that's a new strategy that a lot of more NBA teams were doing at once, but now it's kind of filtering down to the high school and college level.
Right, and it's good to see those things like we were talking about earlier, that trickle down. That's clear example of the trickle down effect of how NBA
is influencing and impacting the younger guys.
Especially with these teams that have NBA players that will come from these high schools. You would want to take what they're doing and implement it then, because at some point they might be in those same spots.
Exactly. And Wheeler was very fortunate again. Danny Stubbs had another wide open three, and he's an elite shooter. He missed. He'll keep shooting those. And believe me when I tell you, he will make more than he will miss as the game goes on. We got a sub in for Pebblebrook. Danny Stubbs is going to get a quick break. We got Niall Hillman coming in, a 6'1" junior guard.
Now we see they have not scored since the first quarter. Score is now 22-8. So Pebblebrook has to figure out what the issue is and fix it quick.
And I think that's why they've gone to this diamond press, because they're trying to figure out a way if they can use their defense to create some easier offense, because Wheeler's done a great job in the half court. Good move by Jaheim Hudson. Look at that footwork again and his activity and his energy. And something that you see now that it's still a little rare, and I got to get used to it. He's playing with his mask on, which I completely understand. And I think we'll see more of that, especially if the numbers don't go down.
Yeah.
We'll see more guys playing with masks on because it's just probably safer.
Yes, I've definitely seen more players doing it, especially at the college level. College is way more traveling, and I mean high school too, but I see now high school players are starting to take advantage of that. Something that they've been telling them to do, but it's like there's not like something that you're implementing and telling them like, okay, you have to do this.
You're not going to force them to do it, but you're giving them the option to do it and let them feel comfortable.
Right. The refs have been doing a great job at masking up at all times.
I agree. You see on the replay right here, Coach Thompson is not happy. They had a great trap in the corner. The ball kind of slipped through the cracks and got to Tyler Shirley. He's kind of Mr. Johnny on the spot, catches the ball, nice little and one finish. He is going to South Alabama. I think he's going to be a really good player in college. He doesn't do anything that kind of stands out, but if you watch him for an extended period of time, he has a great feel for the game. He's always around the ball, and he just kind of knows what he's doing. So I think he's going to have an earlier period of success than most people would anticipate.
Yeah, quick reflexes from him as well.
I agree. Another foul by Caleb Washington, where he's a little confused and perplexed, trying to talk to the ref on kind of like a screening, cutting action. Let's see if Pebblebrook can get another basket here and kind of chip away at this lead slowly. Another one of their horn set where they try to get the ball to Tyler Shirley in a high-low Good pass over the top to Kleiss. Got a nice, easy look at the rim, and Pebblebrook runs a lot of good stuff.
Yes, that was a beautiful move.
It was. Great execution in the offensive set, too. Now they drop back into a man-to-man. They're trying to do the same thing down the ball screen. Caleb refused it. The help side didn't step up quick enough, and he almost put somebody on a poster right there. As you can see on their SUV TV replay, great refusal. Look at the length and the athleticism. And Aaron Reddish was very, very lucky to get a piece of the ball on the way up, or he could have been been caught by one of our several cameramen we have on the baseline and been part of a poster.
Yeah, that would have definitely been most likely viral at that point.
No question. And that's something else that we talked about. We talked about a lot of the adjustments that are going on with trickling down. One of the biggest things to me is all the cameramen and highlights and video that are instantaneously put out as soon as the game is over with.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's good, but also there's a lot of negative that comes with it to me, too, because I think the guys sometimes concentrate on the highlights versus playing the game the right way. What do you think?
Being that I did that for a minute.
Wow, so you got a different perspective.
Yeah,
okay.
I agree with that, though, because there were players that I knew for a fact. It's like, you don't do this at any other time.
Yeah.
But when they can feel when the camera's on them. And I think that
can.
is something that I've seen become more, like, noticeable. Like, that's what they take advantage of, and they can feel it. So it's a good thing, I guess, if you want to look talented, but it's a little bit of a downfall.
Just don't play differently when the camera people out here. And we must have that look like a shot clock violation. So I guess there is a shot clock somewhere. We just can't see it. It's something right there on the scorer's table, which I'm assuming is the shot clock. And our first shot clock violation of the Playing for a Change showcase event that we're having today.
That was one of those things that I had to get used to, is that shot clock. I like it, though, because you can't hold the ball forever, like, honestly. It takes away from the game when you're just, again, that might be something with the camera thing as well. If you playing around with your dribble, you might not focus, and that was a good three by Jaheim Hudson. And
it's showing a little bit of his versatility right there. But I think the shot clock is going to be a huge advantage for the players from Georgia moving into college, because obviously that was one of the biggest adjustments for freshmen, going in there, having to make quicker decisions, moving the ball quicker reads, and not realizing you can't hold the ball for an extended period of time. You got to make snap adjustments. So great thing for the Georgia high school basketball, and it went back and forth for 4 or 5 years. They finally got it where they're going to kind of phase it in. This is the first year. It's only in showcase events. Year 2, I think they're going to do it in the region tournaments and state tournaments, and then year 3 it'll be every single game, which is great.
And I think just to even prepare for it, I think that we've seen how these plays are being ran quicker. So it's like you just need to prepare for it now, because you're going to have to do it eventually. You're going to have to get used to it at some point if you are able and good enough to get to those tournaments.
Go to college,
right, and even go to college. So you might as well adjust as needed.
Great highlights here. Your SUV TV highlights. Nice, easy kick to Isaiah Collier. He steps in, shoots the ball. Look at the rotation on it. You can tell he's been in the gym working. Big-time shot by him, by a big-time player.
He's been doing pretty well so far.
He's played very well.
And Pebblebrook still trying to chip away at that lead. They only scored 5 points so far in this second quarter. Hopefully we see some more.
If you're Wheeler, you're feeling good about it. I mean, you want to try to, even if you just add 2 or 3 points every single quarter, mathematically you'll be in such a good position going into the fourth that it'll be tough for Pebblebrook to come back.
And free throws, again, those are those little ways to stay ahead if you're Wheeler and to keep in the game if you're Pebblebrook.
I think Caleb Washington has done a great job playing against his old team.
Yeah.
He's not playing a one-on-one game. He's playing within himself. That was a great drive and nice little mid-range shot that he just made. And you can see why the coaching staff at Dayton is excited to have him.
Yeah, I think that it's definitely great to see. And that's one of those things, is if you know the history of one thing, that means that he'll be able to plug that in when he goes to Dayton. He'll be able to scout and pay attention and find those flaws and those assets that he can use to plug into when he gets to college.
And I think, as much as I'm kind of I don't really like a guy's transferring around a lot, he's had the opportunity to play for 2 great coaching staffs and probably pick their brains and learn a little bit from both. And I think he'll take that knowledge that he's learned on to the next level.
Right. I agree.
Big-time shot right there by number 20, Cammie Young. Nice deep 3, and they need somebody to give them some outside shooting if they're going to kind of chip away at this lead. Looks like they decided to trap the ball screen. Nice extra pass right there. Jaheim Hudson stepped in. Look at the effort by both teams. I mean, you can tell this game means something. It's
Yeah.
obvious. They're getting after it right here.
They had 3 opportunities, to get that putback. And for a lot of teams that I've seen more and more, it's either just shoot and get back or shoot and get back, honestly.
Yeah, because most people are worried about giving up those transition baskets on the
You're
other
right.
end. But I don't like to concede the offensive rebounds because
Mhm.
that's, the extra possessions and sometimes easy points that can help you win a game.
Right, exactly.
Looks like Wheeler's gone to a little bit of a matchup zone here. They had a
Huh.
little confusion. Kleiss lost the ball, gathered it back, and that's his game. He's a mid-range shooter. So it worked out well for him on that side. Stubbs is saying that Isaiah Collier got him with a veteran move right there. This is Jamal Kleiss on their instant replay. Big-time mid-range shot, great elevation. You can see he kind of lost the ball, was very fortunate to get it back, took his time, very patient and poised, made the shot. But back to what we were talking about, Stubbs said that Isaiah Collier got him with the veteran move. He hooked his arm as he was running to get open, and the ref saw his reaction of him trying to jerk his arm away, and he ended up getting the call, and unfortunately has to go to the bench. Look at Isaiah Collier, man. He's just so smooth with the ball.
That was a quick one.
I mean, he blew past him. They didn't
Right.
have a chance. The help side didn't even have a chance to come over and impede his progress. A nice finish with the left hand at the rim. Great trap by Wheeler.
Right.
They have really picked up the defensive intensity.
Mhm.
Nice contest, but there goes that guy again. Number 20, Cameron Young with another D3, back-to-back threes. That's huge for them to cut this lead down to 10.
That's exactly what we're looking for, is to see that fire in Pebblebrook's belly, and that's exactly what we just saw in those last 2 plays.
Nice drive by Javon Gamery. He's come off the bench and really kind of put his imprint on the game. Very poised and patient with the ball. Similar play to what Isaiah Collier just made, where he kind of refused the ball screen, attack with his left hand, got to the rim and finished with the left. And now he's back again attacking in transition, and he gives them another ball handler and playmaker that can put pressure on the defense.
So far, I will give Wheeler credit where credit is due. They've been playing pretty good defense, but they're known for playing great defense.
They are, and just being well-disciplined overall.
I think you can attribute that to Coach Thompson and Coach Lipscomb, who was before him. That was one of those things that they used to pride themselves on, which was defense.
I think it's just the culture of the program. I mean, they're known for winning, and if you're going to be a program that wins at any level, you're going to be a good defensive team.
Yeah.
Great offensive rebound and put back by Aaron Reddish, flashing some of the athleticism and ability that he's shown throughout the season so far.
See, the clock is trickling down.
We got 11 seconds left on the clock, 10-point lead. I'm sure Wheeler is going to want to make sure they take the last shot and not give Pebblebrook an opportunity to cut this under double digits going into the half. I would imagine that they'll inbound the ball to Isaiah Collier, or get the ball back to Isaiah Collier rather, and let him make a play. But looks like they're going to trust Javon Guillory to make a play right here at the top of the key. Probably tried to do a little too much.
Yeah, I felt that one from up here. It happens sometimes, and I think that's one of those things is when you're in a rush, sometimes those little things will get to you. And that was what happened then.
That could end up being a huge play if Stubbs comes back in. Nice pass, extra pass by Stubbs. Got a good look for Jamal Kleiss to end the half. 10-point lead for Wheeler, and we will go into the half down 33-23. Let's take a look at a couple highlights on the way out. Isaiah Collier right here. Nice drive, good pass. And look at the athleticism by Caleb Washington to catch it down low and take it up top with him. He's done a great job not showing a lot of emotion and just kind of playing the game and playing it the right way.
Yeah, and that's how you have to be with these specific games when you're playing teams that you have a history with, and with just knowing what they've done, you can't put too much emotion into it. Just play, make sure that you're doing well, and just get the win. On both sides, obviously. That's what both teams are wanting to do.
I agree. This is Darryl LeBerry. We got Bajan Sewell. We are going into the half. Thank you guys for joining us here at the SUV TV for the Playing for a Change Classic Showcase right now. See you guys back at the half.
Sarah Brown with SUV TV at the CP3 Rising Stars Camp.
SUV TV's 2019 NBA Draft Day coverage.
Anthony Edwards Collegiate Decision, presented by the Georgia Hoop Circle on SUV TV.
SUV TV brings the game to the audience.
You give a better focus on the actual game at hand. Sometimes you could tell it's just a running camera by itself sitting there, but with SUV TV, it's more of a personal experience.
Just the exposure, being able to see games that you normally wouldn't be able to see, not only here locally, but across the country.
Those angles make you pick up different things as a coach, as an evaluator. They're giving you great quality, nobody talking in the background. I think it brings basketball to the forefront.
Whether it's a family member that lives in a different state, they can watch the game, or just bringing in more coverage for these players, or if it just allows us to raise more money for something like Susan G. Komen. And so I think this event has grown because you guys have been a part of it the whole entire time.
SUV TV has given a different light to kids that don't always get the best exposure.
The commentary that goes along with the games, I think is always interesting.
Touchdown.
Oh, yes, sir. It brings something to the table that no other streaming aspect can bring, no matter how hard they try right now.
Game time, Avian Williamson at the buzzer. That is how you get the Peachtree Corners Invitational started. And that will do it. Thanks for joining.
Welcome back with your coverage by the SUV TV for the Plan for a Change showcase event that is today that will actually turn into a tournament on Monday and Tuesday as well, where they'll have semifinals and finals. This is Daryl LeBerry, and by my side I have Beijing Sewell, and we are excited to be with you guys today and kind of discuss what's going on in this terrific game between Pebblebrook and Wheeler. So Beijing, what did you see from the Wheeler Wildcats in the first half that gave them the opportunity to have this lead by 10 points?
I see a lot of speed. I'll definitely say a lot of speed. They were definitely able to see whatever Pebblebrook's flaws was, and that was a lot of turnovers, a lot of, just silly mistakes. And they took those and they, like you mentioned before, is taking those things into transition and then actually implementing them to gain some more points. But obviously on the flip side, Pebblebrook has done some pretty good things. And what did you observe from Pebblebrook's side that they did to at least gain the 10-point deficit rather than where they were looking to head before?
Well, the 2 threes that Cammie Young hit in that second quarter were huge for them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you just want to go by quarter, they lost the first quarter by 9 points, but they only lost the second quarter by a point.
Right.
So they've kind of, gathered themselves and gotten into a little bit of a rhythm, a little bit of flow offensively, only having 8 points in the first quarter, being able to score 15 in the second quarter. And if they can just find a way to slow the Wheeler attack down, force some turnovers, get a couple easy baskets here or there, they'll be right back in the game.
Right.
10 points is not an insurmountable deficit.
Right.
Obviously, they wish they were closer and it was a single-digit deficit, but I think they probably feel pretty good with the way the second quarter went,
Right.
and they're looking forward to trying to, impact and change the game in the third quarter.
Yeah, I would definitely say from what we've seen so far, if we were to guess per quarter, if these quarters were games, Wheeler definitely won the first quarter, and then Pebblebrook won the second from
Exactly.
what they've been doing. And hopefully we'll see some pretty good competition in the third and fourth quarter.
I'm looking forward to it. Both
Yeah.
groups go back to their original starting lineups. For Pebblebrook, we have number 0, Aaron Reddish, number 4, Andre Young, number 5, Jamal Kleiss, number 10, Danny Stubbs, number 24, Tyler Shirley. For Wheeler, we have number 1, A.J. Burke, number 3, Jaheim Hudson, number 4, Isaiah Collier, number 14, Caleb Washington, and number 5, Kedrick Oliver starting the second half. Wheeler is in white with blue numbers, yellow trim, going from left to right. Pebblebrook has the ball to come out with the second half. They are in black with gray numbers. They tried to get a good look for Cammie Young, who we just talked about, to start the half. Great execution defensively by Wheeler with the shot block. They had an opportunity to get a defensive rebound, got it tangled up, and unfortunately got a turnover. Now Pebblebrook will be taking the ball out of bounds on the baseline.
Just a little mistake, and it's something you couldn't attribute to. It could have been fixed, but at the same time, when you're battling, those things will happen.
Yes, they will. Quick sub. Kyle Burns subs in for number 1, A.J. Burke, with less than 20 seconds into the third quarter. I guess he made some kind of mental mistake or error that they want to discuss with him, and
Right.
I'm sure he'll go back in quickly.
Yeah, especially in the first 15 seconds. It's usually
that's a little rare,
yeah.
Probably something they talked about at the half, and he wasn't locked in and focused. They want to make sure they get his attention. That doesn't happen again,
Right.
because those kind of things can hurt you later on moving down. Another baseline out of bounds here for Pebblebrook. Look at that going into a little bit of a flex action, screen-to-screener action right out of the baseline. And that's Kleiss, who there's mid-range assassin right there, misses another one. That's probably a good look that he'll want to get back later. And as well as Isaiah Collier has played, he's had 2 or 3 of those instances in the early transition that kind of have been unforced turnovers where the ball's gotten high or he's going too fast. And that's you got to attribute that to youth. He'll get better. He'll get more experience. He'll understand when to use change of pace. But those turnovers right now are something that he has to improve on and work on.
Yeah, I definitely think that's one thing that you notice a lot with fast players like Isaiah Collier. They have those little mistakes with like a carry, or it might be unwanted double dribble that they might have done just subconsciously. So
just going too
yeah,
fast.
we have a quick mind like that usually happens.
Exactly. And then as you get older, you kind of understand your pace and your momentum a little bit better, and those things you kind of control them. Nice early free throw by Jamal Kleiss. He was able to get fouled on the mid-range jump shot. makes both of those. Nice early start for them, and they've cut into this lead already. Got it down to 8. Hoping to get another stop and just keep chipping away at the lead and see what happens going into the fourth quarter. Good drive by Jaheim Hudson right there. Kind of took the ball length of the court. I thought Tyler Shirley actually did a pretty solid job on the defensive end. We'll see right here on the SUV TV replay. Reach right there, but then he kind of, if he probably would have had a little bit more verticality, he showed his palms, but he was leaning over. And if you tend to be leaning over towards the offensive player, you have that kind of posture. The referee's almost forced to make that call.
Right. And it's always so funny to see it, how they'll always put their hands straight up.
At the end.
Like, I have my hands straight up.
I didn't do anything. Yeah, you were leaning over.
You know.
The replay doesn't lie.
Right.
They were fortunate, though. Jaheim misses both free throws. Early subs on the other end by George Washington and his Pebblebrook group as well. They subbed in number 3, who's a very important player for them, Blake Hadley, who's a senior, kind of a do-it-all glue guy who does a lot of things for them. They got him in with an early sub.
Mm-hmm. And again, little minimal mistakes that will, at some point, affect them in the long run. You want to get those points in when you get those possessions. That's obviously the way to win the game.
You want to get a good shot to the rim every time.
Right. And so if you're always, having turnovers, losing the ball at the baseline, like, you're not going to get what you're expecting from the game. And that's what we're seeing right now with Pebblebrook. That's why they're having so many substitutions, because something's not clicking.
Exactly. They're trying to find a group that can kind of cut into this lead and create some momentum for themselves.
Right.
Probably a force right there for Jaheim Hudson off the dribble. Aaron Reddish right here with a nice drive, Euro step with the left hand, missed it. And Isaiah Collier, nice outlet to Caleb Washington. Good pass. Great pass by Caleb Washington. He's just made some really good plays. Kedrick Oliver with a nice alley-oop play right there. Caleb's played a nice floor game today along with his ability to score. He's just made some good decisions and played very poised and within himself. Look at even the defensive block right there. Unfortunately, Kleiss was stuck with it and was able to get an offensive rebound and put back.
Yeah, this game so far from Pebblebrook's side, they are, like you said, they're trying to get it in at the rim, which is probably their best bet. But Wheeler's just having a lot of, the thing that they're not taking advantage of is the second chance points. Wheeler's taking advantage of that, and as you can see, it's helping them greatly as they keep extending this lead.
Tough pass by Isaiah Collier on a jump pass, skip across the court. Caleb Washington had to kind of jump and gather himself on the catch, and we'll see right here on the SUV TV replay. Gathered himself on the catch, got his feet under him, and nice extension in the jump shot right over Jamal Kleiss, which is a tough shot. The pass was pretty impressive, though. It's a hard pass to make on that jump skip to the opposite side of the court for Caleb Washington for the 3.
So with this game going on so far, who do you think are the standouts? Even though it might be too close to call.
We got a lot of game left, but I love what Isaiah Collier and Caleb Washington have done for the Wheeler side. And on the Pebblebrook side, I would say Jamal Kleiss has played really well. Tyler Shirley hasn't done quite as much as I would have wanted him to do. And then also Cammie Jones has done a great job. Cammie Young, has done a great job shooting the ball from the perimeter, which has kind of helped them in that second quarter when they were struggling to score. They need Stubbs and Reddish to play better for the Pebblebrook side. It's going to be hard for them to win if those two guys don't find a way to score and impact the game on the offensive end.
Right, I think that they're really just trying to, like you said, find that niche and
trying to get into a rhythm and a flow of what to do against this really solid and stout Wheeler defense.
And it's crazy because you would think them playing more games would give them more experience and not be so jittery in these situations. Wheeler has not played nearly as many games as them, but they're still able to keep their composure when it's needed.
That's a little bit of a force right there for Caleb. That's one of the one-on-one situations that the coaches were hoping that he wouldn't do right there. He kind of just turned into an ISO post on the wing and took a fadeaway jump shot. I'm pretty sure if he does another one of those, we'll see somebody run into the scorer's table to grab him. Oh, good hustle. Jamal Kleiss has to finish that. Great job by Cammie Young on the offensive rebound. Kicked it out to Kleiss, who unfortunately didn't finish. Big time finish by Kedrick Oliver, who's got 4 points in this second half and really impacted the game just with his energy and enthusiasm.
We're at the halfway mark now, and the score difference is 13 points.
So again, we just talked about it. Wheeler's continuing to build on that lead steadily.
Yeah.
It was 10 points at the half. Now it's 13. Pebblebrook has to find a way to chip away and cut down and not turn the ball over, get a good look at the rim every time. Because going into the fourth quarter, they need to have it under double digits, in my opinion, if they want to win this game.
Yeah, they'll have to win this quarter, and they don't have too much time to figure out what it is. They just need to start doing what they need to do, and that was the prime example of what they could be doing from here on out to close that score down.
Big time fadeaway by John Simon, who's a young kid. She's a sophomore that they're really high on. Didn't play a lot in the first half, but they think really highly of him. Great block by Burns right there on Tyler Shirley with the drive. And Burns has played really well, kind of played within himself. Good block right there. Has taken care of the ball and created just energy and enthusiasm when he's been in.
Yeah, all around just a great team effort from Wheeler so far, and I think that's what's really setting them apart right now.
Another great play by John Simon. Again, he's a 6'6" sophomore who they're very high on. You'll see right here on the SUV TV replay, they had a great drive and kick by Javon Gammer, who played very well in the first half. Dropped it down to Giles on the dive on the ball screen, and Simon was able to get a nice block. Officials thought he got a little bit of piece of hand, so we got Giles at the free throw line shooting 2. Another missed free throw for Wheeler. They've missed all three of their free throws here in this second half. And if you want to build on leads, missing free throws is not what you want to do.
It is not. I remember plenty of times, even when I was managing basketball teams and playing basketball, those are the things. It's like you cannot.
Drives coaches crazy.
It's so important. It's the difference between
winning and losing. Yeah. Number 13, Cam Johnson, who's a 6'1" junior, just subbed in, getting his first action for the Wheeler Wildcats. Simon isn't bashful. He comes in, he's going to play aggressive. You're going to feel his presence on the court one way or the other. And I love the aggressiveness and the trapping that Pebblebrook's doing. And Coach Thompson doesn't feel good about it. And I don't know what me and you were doing, but the shot clock is right above the scoreboard, right above the rim with the time and everything. I just caught it right at the half.
Yeah.
So it's a good view for the players to kind of know what's going on and be able to see the shot clock. They can take a quick peek up there right above the rim and see how much time they have left available.
And that's exactly how it would be in college. So
exactly.
Perfect setup.
Exactly. We should expect nothing less from pace.
Right. Of course.
That was a great block by Burns right there. You see on the replay. And then this is the early 3 by Caleb Washington. Nice find by Isaiah Collier. Kicks it out to him. He gathered himself and made that 3. Good drive by Andre Young. Dropped it off to Kleiss. Big time block by Caleb Washington, but he stuck with it and was able to finish, get an offensive rebound. And he has 4 of the 7 points for Pebblebrook in this second half. The other 3 is the Caleb Washington 3 that we just saw.
And Pebblebrook, if they continue playing aggressive like how
I think they've been better in the third quarter.
Yeah, and that's why Coach Thompson, like you said, he had to call that timeout, because if they keep that up, it will cause some problems for them.
Oh, they were lucky right there. Jaheim Hudson almost came in with that offensive rebound. Another great drive by Javon Gamery. I think he's played really well. He doesn't play like a guy who's coming off the bench. He comes in and plays with great poise, and he's a guy they trust putting the ball in his hands and allowing him to make play. He got to the rim right there and gave an opportunity for Jaheim Hudson to get an offensive rebound. That was another drive right there by Jameel Giles, who's done a good job being aggressive and getting to the free throw line. Missed his earlier 2 free throws. Let's see if he can capitalize on these right here.
This will be crucial in trying to get that lead, because they haven't been scoring too much. And again, when you miss those free throws, that's not a good look for in the long run.
I agree. They have missed all 5 of their free throw attempts in this second half. I'm pretty sure the Wheeler coaching staff does not feel good about that.
Yeah,
now all 6 of those free throw attempts in the second half.
That will definitely be something to practice.
Great play by Jaheim Hudson. Yeah, free throws, like we talked about, wins games. And, a lot of coaches have a lot of different strategies on it. Should you work on it a lot, or do you just need to have good shooters? Probably a combination of the 2. You want to have guys who can shoot the ball, but I would also try to, create situations where you can put semi-pressure on guys, where free throws are important, where the team has to run, or when you're scrimmaging, shoot your free throws. Because like anything else, the more repetitions you get, the better you're at it. They got a foul call right there, and if you look at the replay, it's interesting because Stubbs drove in there a little out of control.
Yeah.
But I think it's because Jaheim Hudson wasn't vertical, like we talked about earlier, that the referees gave Stubbs the benefit of the doubt and gave him the foul call.
And that's those little things, and we were talking about repetition. It's muscle memory as well. You have to know how your body is set up. If you're going to be down in the post and your hands are straight up, you need to stay straight up.
Yep.
If you hunch over, it's going to be called every time. Like,
every
you just
time.
know that.
And you got to get used to how the officials are going to call the game. And they've been pretty consistent. We haven't seen a lot of argument with the referees. They've consistently made the calls that they're going to make.
Right.
Foul on looks like they're going to call that on Kedrick Oliver on the push-off up under the rim. That was Simon who drove off the shot fake, one dribble pull-up right there. And unfortunately, we got an offensive foul that is going to be free throws on this side for Pebblebrook. They're trying to figure out who's going to be shooting, and a couple different guys are going to the line trying to get the free throw shots. Officials got to come in and clean it up. Simon that was trying to get there initially, it looks like he's going to be the guy who takes the free throws. Caleb Washington subbing back in for Wheeler.
On the flip side, Pebblebrook having, again, another opportunity. They've been making their free throws.
They are 3 for 3 on their free throws, so they're doing the exact opposite. We got Wheeler, who is 0 for 6, and we got Pebblebrook, who's 3 for 3 in the second half, in the third quarter. So that's helping them try to, maintain or keep this lead where it's at. But then as soon as we gave them the broadcaster curse, and they missed the second one. Nice play by Burns. He's played really well, man.
Yeah,
very
really
poised and patient for a junior. Then he forces a turnover on the other end, and Wheeler's back off and running. Coach Thompson tells him to slow down.
Right. And there goes that quickness again. You got to tone it down just a little bit.
He wants to get out here and run a set and make sure they get the kind of look that he wants them to get.
Right. And I think that's one thing I will say about the shot clock. It can be a good and a bad thing. It makes you feel like you have to get it in 30 seconds, but you really don't have to. Like,
and 30 seconds is a lot of time.
Right.
It's a long time.
That's a long time. So it's like you have plenty of time to get everything set up. A play shouldn't go over that long anyways.
Similar situation right here for Caleb Washington, trying to figure out what he wanted to do kind of in that mid-post area. I saw Coach Thompson telling him, just catch the ball, gather, face up before you decide what you want to do instead of trying to make that back to basket. When guards catch it, it's better. You have more of an advantage if you face up and you can kind of see everything that's going on. Bigs want to be more back to the basket and use their physicality to get you closer to the rim for the shot. Did he miss that first free throw?
He did.
He did, yeah.
Struggled a little bit.
So now they're 0 for 7 on these free throws, 0 for 8 on their free throws in the second half. So, I mean, imagine if they make even half of those, this lead would be probably, too much for them to come back for.
Right.
Good drive by Cammie Jones right there. He's played really well. Cammie Young, I'm sorry. Nice finish.
And that's the thing. If they're 0-8, but they're going 4-4 at the line, say for free throws, that's going to give them exactly what they need to stay in this game. So,
foul on Danny Stubbs on the box out, and again, they're going to have to take him out. He's been in foul trouble the majority of the game. He just hasn't been able to get into a flow. I feel bad for the kid. He wants to play well in this kind of, in this kind of game, but he just hasn't been able to get in a rhythm. Had a couple of unfortunate calls against him early, and this time he gets one on a box out.
Yeah, you can see his frustration at the bench. It's like, what you're supposed to do. You're not doing it. And it's like, can you be frustrated at yourself, or should you be frustrated,
for not doing the fundamental things to keep yourself out of that situation.
Exactly. And those are things that at this age you should start trying to weed out, because that will affect how you play in the long run.
I agree. Great catch by Caleb Washington right there on the baseline out of bounds. And that could have been a steal, easily a steal in a basket for Pebblebrook.
Yeah.
But because of his effort and energy and stick-to-itiveness, he grabs the ball and was able to get fouled. And now he's going to have an opportunity to make some free throws.
Okay.
And now they step up and they finally make their first free throw of the half. They were 0 for 8. Now they're 1 for 9. And we just had 2020 at its finest over here on the Wheeler side. We had an official from their school go up and tell one of their team members he need to pull his mask up during the game, even though he's not in the game.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of where we're at. We just want people to be safe and precautious at all times.
I wonder how in the long run that will affect playing, because we think about it, I think prime example would be like Michael Jordan playing the flu game.
Exactly.
He didn't wear a mask, but I think now it's so weird to see how these things are going to affect the future of everything.
We have no
basketball.
handshakes at the end of
Right.
games now. I mean, everything is just different. It's 2020, man. You got to be very fluid.
Right.
Caleb Washington probably forced one right there to
Yeah.
number 13, Cam Johnson. Probably need to slow down. He put him in a situation that was kind of a tough situation for him to handle, and an unfortunate turnover when you had an opportunity to kind of build on the lead right there. Nice
That
drive.
was beautiful.
Cammie Young, man. I mean, to be honest with you, he's been their best offensive player this
I
game. Made 2 threes in the first half, and now he's got back-to-back drives and finishes in the second half.
Yeah, I agree. He's definitely pulling some weight in this quarter and through the whole game, like you said. But this is with everything that has been going on for Pebblebrook in the past 2 quarters, and compared to now, he's definitely tacked the lead down, doing what he needs to do. Not there, but for the most part.
Misses the free throw. They're still 3 for 5, which is a
Right.
much better percentage than what Wheeler is in this third quarter.
Yeah, when you look at that box score, that's going to be something that's going to stick out and will need to be obviously a talk for conversation.
Unforced turnover by Gamory, just initiating the offense right there. And let's see if Pebblebrook can take advantage of it on the late clock. Cammie Young with the unfortunate miss on a fadeaway jump shot. That would have been a huge shot to there if he could have cut it down to under single digits. But again, they lost that quarter only by 1 point. So that's back-to-back quarters. They've only lost the quarter by 1 point. But now you're still at an 11-point lead and not chipping away quite the way you want to chip away. But what do you think about what Pebblebrook did in that third quarter?
They came back. They did exactly what I was expecting, because you could see in the beginning when Coach Thompson saw that trap, he was, okay, yeah, no, let's figure out what this is. But for Coach Washington, that was like, yeah, we need to keep that going.
Yeah.
So if they keep that aggression going, which is what they've been doing, and keeping up the little things like maintaining your free throws, like getting back on the second chance points, if you can do that. Like, those are the things that are keeping them in this game right now. For Wheeler, it's like, slow down. Like, you're going too fast. Like, it's good to go fast, but it's not super, super fast. Like, keep your pace.
Exactly, and then if Wheeler would have just made their free throws,
Yeah.
instead of having an 11-point lead, you could possibly be at a 16 or 17-point lead. So even though they've kind of controlled the game and been the much better team, their lack of free throw efficiency has allowed Pebblebrook to still feel good about where they're at in the fourth quarter and give them an opportunity to chip away and have a chance to win the game.
Exactly. And those are those little things. It's like you might not think about it, but that little 1 point, like you said, this 1 point is the difference for the entire game for them.
They're huge.
And it will affect their overall stats in the long run. This one game, that will be something that people will take advantage of. That they can't go to the free throw line and make those free throws if they continue on with this repetition.
I'm hoping it was just the third quarter,
Yeah.
and they'll kind of correct that as we move into the fourth. And a lot of that will also be who ends up shooting the free throws in the fourth quarter. Now they go into a little bit of their own horns action for a nice high-low for Jaheim Hudson. Great pass by Caleb Washington to Jaheim Hudson for the nice finish. Nice, very well executed set to start the quarter.
Yeah, I think Washington to Hudson, that's a good little combination.
It is. Anytime you can get Hudson down close to the rim, I think he just has a huge size advantage and nice feet and nice hands around the rim, and it's going to be a tough guard unless they double for Pebblebrook.
Yeah, but I will say he's played a little, maybe it's because of where they're playing at as well, because I know at Wheeler, he will, when he has the opportunity, he'll boom those.
He'll dunk those,
yeah.
No question.
So it is interesting to see him play more on the reserve side.
Now there's an opportunity for Isaiah Collier to make a great pass, kick ahead pass to A.J. Burke, who hasn't scored much tonight but is an important factor in their team. But unfortunately, they give another easy basket back to Jamal Kleiss.
And that was good ball movement by Pebblebrook.
It was.
Just getting the ball around. Wheeler was struggling to keep up on defense, and they had the opportunity running down the middle.
Close to a backcourt situation right there.
Right.
Wheeler's going to take their time and go high ball screen with Isaiah Collier and let him make a decision in a read. See if he can create an easy shot for his teammate. Ball screen on the other side. Looked like a little bit of like a piece of his arm there.
Yeah.
And then the other thing we're going to have to see is, do we have any time left on the shot clock? Because that was a tip. Pebblebrook's calling for a shot clock violation. Wheeler's asking for a little bit of time left on the clock. And that's when not having a shot clock consistently can become confusing, because I think it should have been at least 1 second left on the shot clock there. But they're doing the best they can do. Now it's Pebblebrook's ball, and we'll just adjust and play from here. 13-point lead for Wheeler with 6:30 left on the clock.
And those little things, it's like we were talking about earlier. When you don't play with one, obviously it's going to be a difficult adjustment. But these
We
are
don't even
teams,
talk about the officials and the scorekeepers.
Right.
It's an adjustment for them as well.
those are those little things. And if they are, reffing or coaching, if they had that experience, with you coaching in college, I'm sure that it's like, okay, these are the things that you need to be aware of. When you switch around and go to the other side, it's like you also got to be aware of this as well.
You do. Probably a little bit of a force right there for Caleb Washington. Nice push. And then Kleiss, that's happened to him a couple times where he just lost the ball. It slipped out of his hands where he had a nice little mid-range shot. Another unforced turnover. Wheeler was able to retain possession. And they sub back in. Zero Amir Green-Jones subs back in for Wheeler. Good minutes for number 13, Cam Johnson, for Wheeler.
They're going to switch the balls out.
So maybe that was the issue. Maybe the ball was slippery, but unfortunately, it's still a turnover for the Pebblebrook side. That doesn't help them right now.
Right. You definitely can't turn back time on that one.
A little bit of a matchup press just to slow them down, take a little bit of time off the clock for Pebblebrook. 15 on the shot clock here. And as usual, they'll go high ball screen with Collier. And they're going to trap it, so Jaheim Hudson will be able to make a play out of it. Good extra pass by Caleb Washington. Tried to use his link, Jaheim Hudson, with the foul over the top on Tyler Shirley. Nice box out.
But see, that was a good look, but, like as we're seeing, I've noticed that Wheeler is, taking their time too much. When I said slow down, I didn't think slowing down meant that much.
You don't want to take the air out the ball. You still want to play.
Right. Meanwhile, Pebblebrook on the other side, they'll miss that one. But they've been pretty good with trapping. That trap defense is really getting to Wheeler.
It is. And because they're trying to play so slow, I think they're missing opportunities to play out of the trap because there should be a 4-on-3 advantage somewhere else because you're getting trapped. Great rebound by Caleb Washington. Because he took a little too long to outlet, he was able to get trapped. And I think they called foul on Pebblebrook, and Wheeler wanted to get a timeout right here, talk it over, because they know they're going to set up some kind of full court pressure. So they want to get into their press break, make sure they're organized and they know what they want to do because they know this turnover or this possession, you don't want to have a turnover right here.
Right, and we see the score right now. It's 13, and I mean, that's still plenty of time. Like, this isn't like football where it's like, okay, you have 5 minutes to get 13 points. It's going to be a little difficult in 5 minutes. It can happen, but no. But basketball, you have the time to fix those mistakes, get those points in.
And you can score points in a hurry in basketball.
Right. Plenty of time, and I want to see this game kind of maybe go into overtime, but at the same time, I want to kind of see who's going to come out of this on top. Because I feel like overtime would just tire both of these teams out, and I feel like some of them are a little tired, maybe.
Already. But what you got is who's going to post who's will on each other. Because can Wheeler be poised, not turn the ball over as they did right there, and kind of control the momentum and the tempo down the stretch, or can Pebblebrook force them to play faster than they want to play and force turnovers, and then hopefully make some shots and cut into this lead.
Right there with Collier, he prime example of that. He just didn't know what to do, and the result. Turnover right there.
And that's about his fourth turnover. They were lucky because Cammy Young got a good look from three, and he's made a couple today. But fortunately for Wheeler, he missed a nice extra pass right there, and that's their shooter. Great extra hustle play by Amir Green-Jones on the offensive glass. They got lucky because A.J. Burke is their jump shooter. He got a wide open look on a great pass from Giles. But great extra effort play, and now Wheeler will be taking the ball out on the baseline out of bounds.
He'll go back to the bench. He is frustrated, and
he just hasn't been able to get into a flow.
Yeah, I understand, especially when it's just frustrating to not know what you're trying to get out of it, and you're not able to execute it. But you got to figure it out with this little time left on the clock.
And that time, Caleb faced up like they told him to. That was the advice that Coach Thompson gave him last time. If you faces up, now he can make his move one way or the other, and he can see the rim, and he can be more aggressive and assertive, and he's able to drive and get an and-one finish on a similar situation where he turned it over early.
All right, now let's see how they do at the charity stripe.
Caleb's been good here in the second half. You know, he got 6 points in this second half alone. This will be a huge free throw right here. 7 points for him to expand the lead. Now they're all the way up to 16. Now they're back in their 2-2-1. And this is a 2-2-1, not to get steals, but just to take some time off the clock, slow them down because they know that Pebblebrook needs to try to score in a hurry. So if you can take more time off the clock, then mathematically it helps you. Good drive right there by Cammie Young. And again, he's been their best player on the offensive end. Him and Kleiss have been their 2 most consistent scorers. You can see right here on the SUV TV replay, he drives right by Green Jones. I thought that was actually pretty good verticality by Jameel Giles on the contest. But the officials thought that he got into his body and was able to force the foul. And then he's able to sink the free throw too. So he has 7 points in this second half as well.
It was very crucial that he made those points because it's a difference maker.
In this second half, Cammie Young has 7 and Jamal Kleiss has 4. The only other baskets we have are Simon is the young kid who came in and he got a quick 2 and he made a free throw. Other than that, so that's what I'm saying. Aaron Reddish, Stubbs, we need these guys to pick up the scoring a little bit, and that's why you're in a situation where you only have 39 points. So we've talked about Collier playing fast and turning the ball over, but that's one of those situations where playing fast was able to get him to the free throw line. Had a couple easy opportunities, but again, he missed his free throw, so now they're
that one breakaway layup that he had in the second quarter, that was probably the most beautiful breakaway layup that I've seen from him.
He was really good in the first half.
Yeah.
They're now 3 for 13 in this second half from the free throw line.
Yeah, that's definitely got to change.
That has to change.
Because
this game could have been further out of hand if they would have been making their free throws.
And Pebblebrook will definitely have to go back to the drawing board. That was a beautiful shot.
And that's what they need to find. They just got to find a way to get the ball to Cammie Young. I mean, he's played terrific. That's now his 10th point in this second half. Great drive and kick by Jamal Kleiss. You'll see with the step through, kicked it out to him. He caught it high, kept it high. Nice follow through on the shot. A.J. Burke has to realize the scouting report and get to that shooter and take away his airspace and make him put the ball on the floor. He's made 3 threes tonight. He's probably their most capable three-point shooter at this point.
And that's really his sweet spot, honestly. That top of the key, that wing area on the right side, that's where he's been shooting at. And they have not been able to stop that. And it's like, those are those little things that you can capitalize on now. Obviously, if they don't, that will be a problem because it's still a close game and there's plenty of time. But
I mean, as poorly as Pebblebrook has played and as well as Wheeler's played, it's only an 11-point game. So, like, if they can close out these last 4 minutes and play really well, nobody will remember what happened at the beginning of the game.
Right.
So they're in their pressure now. Hopefully they can speed Wheeler up, force a turnover. And now if you make a basket, now you're in a single digits and anything can happen. Great job by Wheeler to handle press. Probably forced it there by Jaheim Hudson. Great steal by Kleiss. Double dribble. Oh, wow. I thought that was going to be a double dribble there. They called a blocking foul in the short corner. Wheeler's going to get, looks like they're going to go back into their just their basic man-to-man. They don't want to foul here. They're up 11, half-court man. I'm sure they'll want to find the shooter. You can't let Cammie Young get any looks, either driving to the rim or getting the open looks from 3. He's been their primary scorer in the second half.
Yeah, because he's really been setting himself up, and that's the other thing. It's like, there he goes. He'll set himself up right there.
That's the look from their wing. That spot you talked about. Kleiss tried to get on the glass. Caleb Washington did a great job deflecting the ball out of his hands. Now we got a 2-on-1 situation right here. See what A.J. Burke can do with it. Almost a turnover. Good patience by Wheeler here. You got 18 left on the shot clock. No need to rush. Now you get the ball to your point guard's hand and go high ball screen and see if he can create something for you. Good pass. A.J. Burke, great hustle. And those are the winning plays, those 50-50 balls that Wheeler's been making all day. And if anything, Pebblebrook will look back on the film. They'll say that Wheeler probably played a little harder than us and beat us to 50-50 balls, which we wanted to be the more physical team. That's what Coach Washington said in the early game scouting report.
Right, and they've been physical. I think it's just like we were talking about, those little things that are keeping them from capitalizing on the points. Obviously, you can be physical on one end of the ball, but if you're not physical on the other end, it's going to cause a problem. And if you're too physical, then you're going to send them to the line again.
Wow, Pebblebrook was very fortunate right there. I thought Isaiah Collier got hit on the wrist, but the refs didn't see it the same way. Beautiful play by Kedrick Oliver, who was big to start the third quarter. Nice athleticism with the steal and finish right there. He's got 6 big points in this second half. He's played really well. Another block right here, and the rest are letting these guys play, man. They better stop looking at the officials when they go to the rim. You got to make it through contact today. I like the patience. I thought he had Caleb Washington down there, but if you don't feel comfortable, don't throw it and don't turn it over.
Yeah.
Timeout by Wheeler, and Larry Thompson does a great job of this. When he sees his team kind of look out of whack and they're playing a little too fast and too quick, he'll call a timeout and get everybody organized and make sure they get the shot that they want to get.
And that's what you should do. It's like, this is the time to evaluate, because you have plenty of time to do it at practice, but if you can do it in the game, you can probably fix it before you even get to practice.
Exactly. We just missed on that SUVT replay. Great steal and dunk by Kedrick Oliver, and again, he's played terrific in the second half. He has 6 big points. Caleb Washington has 7 points in this half. They've been balanced. We got 4 points by Jaheim Hudson. A ton of missed free throws. Unfortunately, they could have had a bigger lead. On the other side, Pebblebrook has had 2 main guys scoring. Jamal Kleiss has 6 points, and we have Cammie Young has 10 points in this half. So, kind of just 2 guys have done the majority of the work for Pebblebrook, and they need at some point Tyler Shirley, South Alabama commit, Danny Stubbs, Georgia State commit, and Aaron Reddish, who's a guy who's been getting looks from all across the spectrum of divisions, Division I, to kind of pick it up, or if they're going to make a run here with 2:30 left in this game.
Yeah, they're definitely playing a good game, but they're just not finishing the game that they're playing well, and that's the problem. If they don't finish where they need to finish, like you pointed out, they were looking at the refs to get the foul. You can't do that. Like, not at any level.
And apparently Pebblebrook doesn't have the scouting report. When it's coming out of a timeout or a quarter, they're always going to get the ball to Jaheim Hudson. For Wheeler, they do a great job playing inside out on those after time ATOs. Great finish by him. It could have been called a hook, but a great finish at the rim. And like you said, he will dunk those in certain situations as well. That's another one. You got to play through it. Kedrick Oliver, he plays through it, gets to the next shot. Shot clock still going down. We got 6 seconds left on the shot clock. Look at the lob. Great pass by Isaiah Collier. Way to stick with it by Caleb Murphy. Missed the first couple. Caleb Washington. Way to stick with it and good finish and put back.
Yeah, that would have been nice if he followed through the first time, but good way to stick with it, like you said.
And again, that's Isaiah Collier just creating easy offense for his teammates. He does it again. Great drive to his left, throws it up to Kedrick Oliver to his right, and Kedrick Oliver with the athletic finish. He's a small guy, but he plays big.
Yeah. I think those are those things. It's like you don't really notice how small he is until you see, in real time, because he is not the size of Jaheim Hudson at all.
He plays like it, though. He's above the rim. And it looks like George Washington might have waved the right flag.
Yeah.
They're down 19 points with a minute left. Great win for the Wheeler Wildcats here. We didn't even get a chance to see Max Harris, who's probably their third or fourth best player on this team. He's a senior with experience that can really score the ball. And to come in here in this kind of event against a very good Pebblebrook team without one of your best players, and for the most part, lead the game from wire to wire. This is an impressive win by Wheeler, and this is why a lot of people think they're probably going to be the team to beat when it comes down to it in the state tournament.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, and it'll just how they've been playing with they haven't played that many games like we were talking about, but regardless of how many games they have and haven't played, they're still playing like they played 20 20 already in 3 tournaments.
And that's the young kid Simon right there that they're high on. They probably got to find a way to get John Simon some more minutes, because, in the short amount of time he's been in here, he's made a 3, he's made a 2, and he's also got to the free throw line as well.
Ooh.
He deterred Jaheim Hudson on that drive right there for the finish. Cammie Young, probably as well as he's played late in the game, he's playing a little too quick. Take your time, still try to make sure you get a good shot right there. You don't want to turn it over. It's going to be hard to win the game, but you still want to cut into the lead and make it respectable if you can.
Yeah, and he kind of ran into all those white jerseys. They were frustrated with that call, but something was going to get called on somebody with that.
And Tyler Shirley, man, I like him a lot, but he just hasn't been able to get into any rhythm or any flow today. And there he goes again, Isaiah Collier.
That was beautiful.
He's got to have about 10 assists today. He's played unbelievable. Very unselfish player. He just makes the game easy for his teammates. And they called the charge right there. I like the hustle over to pick Jaheim Hudson up. Tyler Shirley out of control. Charge. and the coaches are going to go ahead and get him out the game.
Yeah.
Court's a little slippery. I hope somebody wipes that area up under the rim.
Yeah, those are one of those things that, and then with everything going on is with COVID and everything, it's like the little things like clean up the court.
Yeah.
Make sure if you have a mask on, keep the mask on, you know, over your nose if you can.
Just try to keep everybody safe and healthy, man. I mean, we're in the middle of something that we've never experienced before.
At all.
And we're just trying to, you got to be fluid and you got to try to figure out the best way to handle and maneuver through these situations. And even something as simple as having a young ball boy on the court who kind of wipes the court up. Instead of that now you keep the item that's going to dry the court behind the stanchion and the players have to grab it. And you see a nice young man from Pebblebrook, number 2, Niall Hillman, just grabs it, wipes the court up, try to keep everybody safe so we can finish these last 24 seconds out.
And also just keep the game going. You got 24 seconds left. For Wheeler, you just want to get the game over. But for Pebblebrook, it's like we still got some more time to
try to learn and build from this.
You don't want to just go out not playing to the best of your abilities or not doing what you need to do.
No shot clock here. Hopefully Pebblebrook doesn't foul. Wheeler wants to just handle the ball and run the clock out. Great win for Wheeler here. Again, they kind of dominated, especially that stretch down the fourth quarter. You're going against Wheeler's one of the best coached teams in the entire state. I thought Pebblebrook just didn't have the normal pop that they normally have in this kind of environment. But they're a team that will continue to play well as we move forward, though. Great game tonight. Really enjoyed it, Beijing. Anything you want to leave us with?
Yeah, I think that this was, again, a great game for Wheeler. For Pebblebrook, like you said, got to learn from these little mistakes. They're ranked number 2 in the country for a reason, so they have to figure out what those issues are, fix them before the next game, and capitalize on it.
Yeah. Great game today. Looking forward to our next matchup. We got 2 more games coming up today on your slate. Please stay with us here at SUV TV. We're here for the Playing for a Change Classic at Pace Academy, and we'll be back momentarily.